Good evening, good evening, good evening. I want to welcome you to tonight's Bible study, which is going to be just a little bit different again, as was last night. I am the spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, and I'm so glad that you've thought it well to join me on this evening. As I said, I'm going to go just a little bit differently today. If you note what I named this particular stream, the energy has shifted. The energy has shifted. And I want to just kind of touch on a few things. I'm not going to be real lengthy tonight because I still have other meetings and other responsibilities going on as I'm moving forward with some of the vision that God has given to me. But I am so excited about what is being seen on the horizon. I'm sure everybody by now is aware that a new pope has been selected, Pope Leo the 14th. And one thing that I will say, as people have come out with different opinions, one way or the other, some immediately went to how they feel he has not dealt with the different scenarios with priests and child molestation and that in the church. Others have given tremendous amounts of accolades as to his experience, his knowledge, his know how. One thing that I will say that I am most moved by, and I did watch the smoke change, I did watch the bated breath that people were waiting with until he was announced and came out on the platform, and I did watch his greetings to the people, and I was moved. I was very touched and very moved. One of the things that we identify about this gentleman. Now, let me stop right there because, as I said, a lot of people have jumped up and started immediately screaming. People can always find something wrong, find fault about something, one way or the other. But I will say there is a very prominent, dominant black preacher that is prevailing across the internet and across the country in all kinds of ways. I'm not talking about TD Jakes. Let me just make that clear. Uh, that is a known philanderer and sexually promiscuous, and y'all just love him. Y'all just love him. Y'all can't get enough of him. And I say that not to air his dirty laundry, but I have to call hypocrisy when I see it. We want to talk about what has happened with everybody else, but then what's creeping and lurking around in our backyard, we close our eyes and give a deaf ear. And I just have to say that if we're not going to deal with that and we're not going to call that out and we're not going to sit folks down and sanction, because at the end of the day, the man is a very gifted preacher and a very gifted speaker. But it's not about that, and that's not where I'm coming from. And I'm not trying to get into dirty church. That's not what I want to talk about tonight. What I love is the idea, even as him taking the name Leo, Pope Leo, which again has gone back to social welfare, social platforms, and caring about the people, which that's what I want to address because I said to you on yesterday, there is a transition that is about to happen in the land, and I genuinely believe that, and I believe that this energy shift is a part of that. I believe that even as a top priority, and as he said several times in his address about building bridges, I feel like this is the place where we are in the universe, where building bridges is going to be something that is going to defeat the works and voices of darkness. And even as I talk about so frequently, you'll hear me say, my heart is about the black community because that's the house that I live in. And I feel like the fire is being put out. I feel like it's time to build. And so I, at the same time, have to openly say, Anybody that wants to pick up a fire hose, a bucket of water, all hands on deck. Anybody that's willing to build that bridge. And the reason why I address that again is because we need to. I watched a video that just ran across my mind today of a representative in St. Louis that was talking on the floor of the House, and she was really calling them out for their lack of wanting to do anything for people in need, except for the fact that it's attached to a bill that's going to give wealthy people more wealth. And she called them on the carpet for it today. And I sat and I watched that. And I applaud those voices that are willing to stand up and speak. Now, why would I do this in place of Bible study? Because again, even as I was telling you about David and all the different things from Saul and so many areas and issues that really were political issues that were going on at the time as we study the Bible, I want to bring our attention to what's also going on in the present. And I want, as I said on yesterday, I want us to be ready because there is a suddenly that's about to happen. There's a suddenly. I think that, and can I say this relative to age? I know myself and someone else we were talking on yesterday, and I was like, I'm in my sixth decade of life, and yada 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 yada. I said, but I still have to remember Joshua and Caleb at 80 years old. I want my mountain, and all of that. 80 years old, and. And one of the things that struck me today as they were talking about Pope Leo, and I don't know if any of you caught this or heard it, they kept saying he's a young pope. He's very young. He's very young, which gives him a lot of time to really do a lot of work and bring a lot of things of change and transformation to the church. And he's 69. And you know what that did for me? It really put some things in perspective. And I was like, well, I'm on the front end of 60. He's on the back end of 60, almost 70. And they're calling him a young man and talking about how much time he has to make impact. And I thought about that and I was like, I had to recalibrate my own thinking in my own mind, and I'm looking and I'm saying at the early end of the sixth decade, how I am sensing, wow, I'm running out of time. And then I'm listening to them today talking about him being 69 and how much time he has left to impact. And I was like, focus, Regina, focus. Because there's plenty of time to do what it is that God has called us to do. And as I think about how God moves and when God moves, and again, because we're talking about a suddenly work that I really believe that God is going to do, um, the age, I want you to cast that out of your minds. And I'm going to even go here. I feel like some things we're not ready to handle in mass or at a great magnitude for some of us until there is a certain level of age and maturity and experience and whatnot that is in place. So if that's you and you've been feeling like I'm running out of time and I'm getting older and whatever, whatever way you're looking at that, I want you to, and again, think about when Joshua and Caleb first heard the word, we're going to the promised land, and all the way to 80 before they were able to see the manifestation of that. And let's put that in perspective. I think when I was talking, when we were doing this Bible study, I mentioned how for some of us that are not 40 years old yet, that wouldn't be me, but I even invited us, think back to those first 40 years that you had and think that first 40, that's how long the children of Israel wandered in the wilderness before they went into the promised land. 40 years. And we say those numbers and it rolls off our tongue like it's nothing. But I want you to start putting time in perspective. And I want you to embrace the reality that time is not your enemy. Time really is it's all good. God doesn't work in the construct of time, so you don't have to worry about that, Cassandra. You don't have to worry about time because God works outside of that. Now, why did I also say there's an energy shift? And I don't know how many of you saw this or not, but I want to play just a clip. But while we are going through this season, I'm gonna try to do this without. Okay, here we go. I don't know if you all heard this today. Bill Gates announced that he's giving away his multitudes and shutting down the Gates Foundation. He's going to give the bulk of his money away. I want I want to just play this for you. If and this is just a real quick clip. There's a lot out there, but when I tell you the energy is shifting, and I said to someone else today, I was talking about something else, but it did revolve around this current administration and some things going on. And I said, listen, this administration is not going to get to do all the things that they think they're going to do. Their days are numbered. But what I will say is that building bridges, going back to what Pope Leo the 14th kept saying, it's about building bridges. And then we have things like this happening. And here you go.
To put virtually all my wealth into the foundation.
Bill Gates plans to give, quote, virtually all his money away and end the Gates Foundation in 20 years. Bill and Melinda French Gates created the foundation in 2000 and planned for the organization to continue its work for several decades after they die. One of the world's largest philanthropies, the Gates Foundation centers on global health and equity initiatives. Gates announced he now plans to distribute all his wealth, around $200 billion he estimates, in the next 20 years before closing the foundation in 2045.
I'll be 90 by the time it's all given away, and innovation will make a huge, huge difference here. And so I think, my optimism is well justified, despite an incredible emergency that we're living through right now.
Now,
I'm amazed.
I'm going to stop right there. $200 million is what Bill Gates is getting ready to give away. Now, when I said the energy has shifted and that he announced on today, there is a huge energy shift. So when I look at, again, Pope Leo the 14th, who is talking about social issues and building bridges. We have a Bill Gates who's coming out and saying we're in a state of an emergency, more or less, and he plans to give all of that $200 billion away. Then we have, I don't know if you all saw the clip of Bishop T.D. Jakes, who many of you know, he passed his senior pastoral role to his daughter and his son-in-law, and he has taken a back seat. But he came out in a statement and said that he has put together a conference. Oprah Winfrey, as well as others that he named, will be there. But he also said what he has created in that scenario is where there will be billions of dollars given away, billions of dollars given to organizations, given to, and so why am I saying that? Because I want us to understand, and I do want some of us to be on the front end of what is taking place in the land right now. When you got people that are giving away $200 billion, that's billion with a B. When you have a prominent pastor, as he's passing the torch, and he wants people to come with their ideas, and he's saying that they have different ones that are going to talk and walk people through their organizational ideas and structures, as well as they will be prepared to fund in mega dollars for people that attend. So I'm and you're like, why are we talking about this today? Because the energy has shifted. I want you to stay aware, because some of the things that God has placed in your heart, some of the assignments that God has given to you, who knows that God is not going to utilize some of these resources to actually bring some of your vision to pass. So I wanted to put this out here, but again, I want to highlight the reality. There is a shift. There is a shift. In 2,000 years of papal consistency, this is the first time there's ever been someone selected from the United States of America, but he does have uh, citizenship in other countries and is proficient in many languages and so on and so forth. But he has an idea and a vision to bring social reform. Um, and again, I why am I highlighting? Because when I say to you, this current administration that we have in our country has lit a lot of fires. And a lot of those fires have caused people to act and react in a totally different way. There was discussion about why the Roman Catholic Church is choosing to make this particular choice of a pope, and they're making a statement by going this direction. There's so many things that are speaking to us right now. So many things on the horizon that are indicating that the energy has shifted. I just wanted to come on tonight. I'm not going to talk a long time because some of the I have some meetings that I am hosting and or attending tonight yet and still with regard to things that are coming down the pike. And I'm telling you, when I say suddenly is about to happen, suddenly is about to happen. And for some that have said, where are the resources and where is the money and how is it going to happen? I don't know who and how Bill Gates is going to give $200 billion away, but he's vowing to do that. And he's very set on that. The astonishment of the people when they heard him make the announcement, but even as he said, if you heard the last part of that clip, it's a critical time. It needs to happen. So, you know, I just have to step back. Now, with that, please hear me when I say I don't know where it's getting ready to go. You know, I would love to see it come this direction. I believe it's going to come this direction. But at the end of the day, these people are making allegiances and alliances with people like you've never seen. At the end of the day, I do believe God is in control. I do believe that God is up to something. I do believe that the people of God are going to win. I do believe that right is going to prevail over wrong. I do believe all of that. So as we see all of these major shifts today, I was like, wow, you know, and I am a purveyor of energy, and in Pope Francis' death and the selection of a new pope, in Bill Gates and the announcement, the bombshell that he dropped today, in Bishop Jakes, and I just find it amazing all these different things that are being spoken to and revealed today. It's a power shift. It's a power shift. So sometimes we may not be privy to all the different things that are going on. Not that I am. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know about. But when these three back to back to back today dropped in my hands and I saw it, I was like, this is what I want to talk about tonight, because God has something that He's ready for us to do. We haven't just been coming together and studying. We haven't just been coming together since 2020. I did take 2024 off because I needed to for mental health reasons. But at the end of the day, we haven't been doing this for nothing. There is a purpose and there's a design and there's a reason. God has something for you to do. Yes, you. That's why I named the stream that. Yes, you. Because so many times it's easy for us to point to everybody else and say, it's up to you. But no, this is for you. Yes, you. We all have a part to play. All of us don't have the same role. All of us won't have the same functions. All of us won't have the same resources, but we can have oneness and unity. And that's what I believe out of everything. And that's why my heart leapt. It just leaped for joy when I heard Leo talking about building bridges, building bridges, building bridges. I feel like that's the season and the time that we're in. I want you to get yourself ready. It's always going to be first and foremost your spiritual organization, your spiritual relationship. And out of that, God is going to listen. I believe that spirituality is getting ready to trump everything right now. Let me say that again. I believe that spirituality is getting ready to trump everything right now. One reason. And so, as we are getting ourselves in alignment for this huge energy shift that has taken place, I want you to, and I'm not talking about a form of godliness and denying the power. I want you to get your spirituality on steroids right now. Not religiosity, but spirituality. I want you to get it on fleek and on steroids right now because I really believe that's what is about to make the difference. And all of this that I've talked about and mentioned on tonight, these are the areas that I still feel are going to fall under the auspices of spirituality. So let's get ready. Let's be prepared. Let's remain knowledgeable. I saw that and I heard that I'm not gonna lie. I went out and I looked at it again to make sure it wasn't a hoax. That you know how we have the hoaxes and whatnot on the internet. I went out there and I looked to see it's not a deep fake, it's not a hoax, it's not an AI generated something or other. This is actually going on. So as you keep your ears and your eyes open, spiritually stay attuned, make connect the dots. There are some people that we're going to need to connect the dots. There are some organizations we're going to need to connect the dots. I'm constantly asking God, who do you want me to connect the dots? Where, who, how, what organizations? Because that's going to be key and critical right now. But again, what is at the forefront is spirituality. So this is going to be a manifestation, not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, says the Lord. So I want you to, J Trey, I want you, good evening. I want you to prepare yourselves. I believe it's a good thing. This is a good thing. And as I spoke hope to some others that I talked with on today, I want to speak that same hope, that same belief to you. We're right on the verge of the suddenly. I want you to be ready. I want you to be prepared. What do I want to say? There's so much that we all bring to the table. I just look at the names in here. Cassandra, One Reason, J Trey. All of you are powerful in your own right. And even for those that are not in my stream chatting, but you're here. And for those that are watch on demand, you are powerful. You bring something so powerfully important in this hour to the table. Tap in. Tap in. Bishop Jake said something, and I'm trying to pull it back. Oh, it was something to this effect. This may not be the exact words. And again, this was on the presentation that he was giving. And I was like, my God, you were just, everything's going on right now. And it's all good. It's all good. But he said, while you're talking about entrepreneurship, make sure to employ yourselves. And he was talking about employing and investing in yourselves and making sure. And I sat and I listened to that and I said, that is so funny because as I've talked and organized and this and that and the other, and I've kept so many other individuals and organizations and whatever, and it's like, okay, but I need you to also employ you. And so I want to speak that jumped out, and maybe it was just for me, but I do want to repeat that. And again, that was Bishop Jakes addressing what he brought. Joanna G, what's coming to the table, and I know your organization as well, and what you're doing in social work and good works here. This is the time, this is the season. So we're building bridges, we're connecting the dots. I'm going to say again, I'm going to keep my eyes open. Like I said, I don't know how Bill Gates plans to give away $200 billion, but he has vowed and dedicated himself to do it. Some of your organizations may be well qualified. Some of your endeavors, we'll see how this plays out. KB Browns. And so, I'm almost wrapped up because I wanted to talk about the energy shift, from these, three major points from today, that dropped in my lap. And, so whether it's, you can go back and watch it on demand, but whether it is the bridge building that Pope Leo the 14th is talking about in social reform and social areas, whether it's the $200 billion that Bill Gates is giving away, and or whether it is the organization and workshop that TD Jakes announced that he has put together, and brought some of the most prominent, dominant people together to walk people and talk people through their organizations and their ideas and their concepts. And they're coming with startup cash. They're coming with startup capital. So even in that regard, if you haven't put all your plans down on paper, and if you don't have it aligned and you don't have it, you write the vision and make it plain. As all these things are dropping today, there's a reason. And as I said, it's an energy shift. God is moving by his spirit. Now, I also believe, and I'm going to say this, and I'm just kind of recapping here for those that just came in, because I know a lot of times I'm still talking at this time, but I've really said most of what I want to say. But spirituality is going to be at the forefront in this move of God. I really do believe that. And so keep your eyes and your ears open. And it's not about just going out here and chasing money. No. I want you all, as we talk about connecting the dots, I want you to go forth in whatever it is that God has given you. We need education, J. Trey, as never before. You are an education professional. We need you. The world needs you. Dr. Dady Priest, the world needs Dr. Dady out there. What you're doing, One Reason, and the B-side, the world needs you out there. Joanna G, what you're doing. And KB Browns. Listen, all hands on deck. All hands on deck. And as I said, in this process, let's connect the dots and let us uphold and support one another. But again, I'm going to say that once more and again, as Bishop Jakes said, ultimately, in a nutshell, don't forget about yourself while you planning and agreeing for others. Don't forget about yourselves. So, Joanna G, there's a shift. That's all I can say today. With just those three bombshell announcements, there's a shift. So I'm excited. I am very, very excited. Get your house in order. uh, get your business in order, get your entrepreneurship, get your organization, get your plan together. I genuinely believe we're getting ready to see something that we've never ever witnessed in the history of the world. Let's come together. Let's build the bridges. Let's unite. Let's support and undergird one another. Let's cheer for one another. I'm going to be, and I said this to Dr. Dady, but I'm saying this to each of you here. Cassandra, whatever God has assigned to your hands to do, I'm going to cheer when I see the manifestation of it. One reason, J Trey, Joanna G, KB Browns, whatever you are engaged in whatever organizations that you are leading and or affiliated with, as they are becoming successful, I'm going to, come on, Joanna G, I'm going to applaud you. I'm going to celebrate you. I'm going to push you. I'm going to be godly proud of you because I'm a part of you and you're a part of me. And I see you in my Moai. I see you in my community. I see you in my family. I see you in my heart. I see you in my dreams. And as your visions are being birthed and coming forth, I am excited about you. I really, really am. And so let's sit back and watch and participate where we can. If there are areas that I can participate in what you're doing, I'm happy to do what I can where I can. I mean that with all my heart. I'm happy to do what I can where I can because it's going to take all of us coming together and pulling together and working together. Now, Bill Gates is giving 200 billion away. TD Jakes is talking about almost a number that no man can number, sounds like, and what they're ready to give away in what workshop he has put together. And you know, the one thing I will say, and people rag on Oprah, and he named others, but Oprah's the one that really stood out in my mind. If you can be around people that have gone where you would like to go, if you don't do anything else but just hear what they have to say, there's a benefit. I believe that. Sometimes even just being in another person's presence that has been there. I'm not come on, truck. I'm not begrudging anybody. I'm not because at the end of the day, we all can glean something from one another. We really can. There's an old, he called himself a barnyard preacher. His name was Dad Vaughn. He called himself a barnyard preacher, and he would always say there's no big I's and no little U's. And so much can be accomplished if nobody cares who gets the credit. So much can be accomplished if nobody cares who gets the credit. But there are no big I's and little U's. If there is any way I can support you, I'm happy to do that. I want to do that because I feel like this is the season and the time to do that. All right. We are not competitors with one another. There's enough sunshine and there are enough sun rays for everybody to get some sun. Nobody's going to be left out. So there's enough that everybody can eat. There's enough that everybody can build. I believe in a world united, and I do believe that God is going to bring us together in that way. And that's really all I have to say. But the energy today, man, I looked at each one of those bombshells and I was like, the energy has shifted. The energy has shifted. All right. So govern yourselves accordingly. We're all one link in this chain that God has created. We're only as strong as the weakest link. My uncle used to say that. KB Browns. Now, let me say, because this was an uncle that was so near and dear to my heart. His name was Howard. We called him Uncle Bud. You know, we didn't call any of our kin folks their real names. You didn't even know they had a real name till you saw it on the obituary. But Uncle Bud would say that all the time, KB Browns. And so you just let a little bit of that flood back in my heart. and back in my memory. Thank you for sharing that. And you're just, and it's a true statement. And you were just making that observation, but you gave me something even a little more than that because you brought back a little piece of my uncle to me, and I appreciate you for that, sir. I'm not going to have Bible study or actually Chop House on Sunday because it's Mother's Day. I want you all to celebrate your family, celebrate with whoever's in your life, and celebrate them real well. I'm going to do Chop House tomorrow, which is Friday. I'll do a Chop House tomorrow, and then I'll do Chop House on Saturday. We'll be out on Sunday because I always advocate family time. All right. But truly, the energy is shifted. I'm going to come back tomorrow and we're going to chop it up and talk about some things. I'm going to keep my eyes and ears open. If I hear anything or if I know of anything, whether it be about TD Jakes. Now, TD Jakes, I believe his funding is being done through the workshop and the conference that he's putting together. And I think that's the jumping off point. I'm not going to say that's the only place, but that's what he spoke about in his announcement. So if as I know more information about that, I'll pass that on. And as I hear more about and how Bill Gates is distributing his 200 billion giveaway. If you hear something, bring it to the group, bring it to the people, so that they can know. And then of course, who knows? The Catholic Church is such a powerful, powerful church, even financially. Who knows what all's going to happen as Pope Leo the 14th is advocating building bridges and social reform and social help for those that need it. It's time. It's time. And what I will say as I close, I think that sometimes darkness makes the light shine brighter. Darkness makes the light shine brighter. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I love everybody that's in here. Let me just come through and say good evening to all of you that are in my chat. Cassandra, Isaiah, I love me some you, and thank you for being in the house. The Bishop of Twitch, One Reason, is here. So much love to you, and peace be multiplied. J Trey 707, that's my sister. I love you. So much love coming to you. Joanna G98, mad love, and it's so wonderful to see your name in the. I'm telling you, I love you, sis. God bless you, and you keep doing what you're doing. God's hand is on it. KB Browns is my brother from another mother too, as well as Truck Driver. I love you both. Listen, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, and that's what God wants each of us to do. Please shine where you are, shine wherever God takes you, but by all means let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. I love you guys. Oh, and the scripture for today that came to me, my friend sent this to me, and this isn't anything special, but this was what came out. I can almost quote it because I messed around and shut it out. Behold, I do a new thing now; it shall spring forth. And I thought that was even timely. So for those of you, once more and again, you're ready for what's coming. I am too. One reason I am too. I almost want to go back and retalk everything that I already said. Age is not a factor, but I'm going to refrain and restrain from doing that. But listen, go back and listen to the replay. But I'm ready for what's coming too. This is going to be marvelous in our eyes. I believe that. And thank God for the darkness so that the light can shine brighter. I love you guys. I'll see you in the Chop House tomorrow evening at 6:00. Nothing but mad love to each of you. And I want to say to every name that I said in here, I believe in you. Go forth in what God has called you to do. It's your time to shine. Peace for your journey.